We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but it's like the work is fine, but the social dynamics
Are different.
It's a lot. It's
Because,
a lot.
well, because you're up in the mountains up there, so especially up in northern New Mexico, that's a different animal.
Yeah, and it's like Taos is a lot sleepier of a town than I expected when I got there. I have learned to love it, but I don't think long term I would like put roots in Taos.
That's how it kind of was with Roswell.
Really?
Yeah, I lived out in Roswell for about 4 years.
Yeah. I liked Roswell. The times I've been through there, I'm like, I was, not to be patronizing in any way or shape or form, but I was surprised at how much stuff was out there.
And I mean, not to say that there isn't a lot of stuff out there, but the issue is everything that's like worth a damn closes at like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, if you go to like a show or something, but you don't eat and you want to eat,
You're looking at like the one gas station that stays open.
you're looking at
24
like
hours. That's
all
sketchy.
sips, or you're looking at you got like a Whataburger that's open, but other than that, like Wendy's, I think they close at like midnight. And
Did you ever go out to when you were living there? Was Antigua up and running? You like that?
Well, it was something else. It wasn't Antigua at the time, but it's always been that kind of same restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like a Los Cucos or like a...
something like that. So it was Antigua. Did you play Antigua or something? Or? Okay.
Yeah, I played there once. I had a quesadilla for my meal that was like, instead of flour tortilla, it was fried and it was masa, like a tamale.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so good. I'd never had something like that before.
Yeah. If you get a chance, for me, the place I always went to, but basically because I lived literally right next door, there's this place called Cerritos.
Cerritos, okay.
Yeah, it's I don't know which way you came in. I'm guessing coming in from Taos, you came in from the north, so you didn't go that far into town.
Oh, I've been up and down. I mean,
Okay.
so I played the two places that I play at in Roswell is Antigua and Black Hawk Brewery.
Okay, I did see the Black Hawk show.
Yeah, and I even went out to. I was thinking about this on my way up here, but I meant to ask you. Have you been to Lake Lee?
No.
Bottomless Lake.
Oh, Bottomless Lake. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what Lake Lee is.
LEA.
Yeah.
That's the one that, because there's a bunch of small like lagoons, I guess, or
Yeah.
But yeah, we went fishing, or not fishing, swimming out there, and it was nice and cool. And then you stand there long enough, you have like these little.
Yeah.
They start just these little minnows or whatever just start eating eating on your skin.
If you go back down there, check out the winery, Pecos Flavors.
Okay.
They're on 2nd Street. So when you're going down Main, and then if you're coming north or coming from the north down Main, you take a right on 2nd Street, and it's this little winery. They have it's probably the best food. Period.
Really?
In the story. It's expensive, but it's like good food. So,
Nice.
And they do free. Is it Free Music Fridays or Free Music like they'll do like Free Music Fridays or something where they'll just bring in like a solo acoustic act and
Nice.
kind of do their thing.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
I how like downtown it has that little one off on the south side. It's like a five-way.
Yep.
Five-way traffic stop.
Oh yeah. Man, please tell me you did not get jammed up there, because that happens.
I did, dude. I did, and I was really, really lucky and grateful for whoever the guy that was pulling me over, because like I was sitting and I had played at Antigua on a Friday, and then I was supposed to play at the brewery on
Like Sunday.
on the Saturday or
Saturday.
whatever, and then it ended up I had I think this was back in like March, but I had a couple drinks. I wasn't necessarily bad off, but like I probably would have gotten close to, I wouldn't have blown zeros if that would have happened. But I'm like in the fifth lane, splitting the two, And I'm looking at the light like further down the way that's green and not realizing that the red light's like right above my head. And so I'm just slowly kind of like hesitant and just start pulling out. And so happened that there was a cop directly behind me.
Yeah.
He lights me up and I'm like, I kind of freak out. And so I pull off, but then there's also people going this way. And he gets on his PA and he's just like, pull over into this parking lot. I was like, okay. And then I'm just sit there for a little bit like, I'm going to jail in Roswell. This is going to suck.
Yeah, I mean. And
he was cool about it. And he was just like, just be a little more cognizant on the roads.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
See, if this was like back in 2016, 17, I could have probably helped you out because I knew like 90% of the
really?
public defender's office.
Oh, wow.
Because.
Dude, you used to work in the courts?
No. So what it was is, one of the guys that I used to do a lot of film work with, he was like the chief public defender, like the main public defender guy. And so by proxy, him doing a lot of film work and whatnot, he would bring me into the office every time we needed to have a meeting or something. He'd be like, hey, just come to the office and we'll do this here, because he'd be working late or whatever.
Oh, wow.
And so I got to know like half of the public defender's office. And
nice.
He was like, okay, if you ever get pulled over for DUI or whatever, this is the guy you want to talk to. And I'm like, good to know. And if you ever get pulled over or if you ever get pinched up on this is the guy you want to talk to. I'm like, great. And then when do I want to talk to you? Oh, you never want to talk to me, because I'm like.
That's funny, because I'm the one that introduced you to all these other people.
Yeah.
You don't know me.
Yeah.
In this
and he was like, but if you ever get called in for jury duty, you can use that. And I'm like, okay. So if I was like, I think I'd maybe gotten called for jury duty once, and luckily I had some other stuff going on. They're like, yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it. But I was like,
yeah, I feel like it's simple. You just kind of like reach out, or you can like write them a letter or give them a call and be like, I don't really like, my address is there, but I really don't really live there.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
that's fine. We'll go to the next one on the list. I'm like, was that easy? Okay.
I'm out of town right now and just kind of not there. Yeah. And then I get pulled over the next day, and it's like, hey, motherfucker, I thought you.
My mom got selected and went through the whole jury, and like, I love her to death, but she like, the last like 10 years of her life, she's been in this like kind of slight cosplay of Paula Deen.
Yeah.
And so she's just like this sweet kind of, native Texan woman. And it was I don't remember the specifics of the trial, but it was something to do with like a murder.
Yeah.
And she was, she would just be coming back home, like from what my dad was telling me, just like stressed and emotionally. She's like, I can't sleep at night from dealing with all this trial. And I was just like, there's a reason why they selected you,
right?
Because you're just this like,
you're exactly the type of person they want. Whereas me, all I got to do is say, hey, I work for the media, and this trial is going to affect my ability to do my job.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty
9 times out of 10, it's just like, all right,
straight, simple boundary right there. And
you're
they're
good.
Like, that was vague enough to where I don't even want to ask.
Right.
You're gone.
And everybody else is like we'll have like reporters and stuff that get called, and I'm like, you literally can use that excuse and they'll let you off. It's like, I tried to use it once and they wouldn't let me off. And I'm like, you didn't do it right then.
Yeah,
because
you got to just say, now you got to be that vague. The media. He's one of them.
Yeah, right? And it's just like, whatever at this point. But we are rolling, so I was just like, I'm going to let this go and just let it be what it is. But we got a Nash Daniels with us. How's you come up from Houston? Or?
Yeah, I was this morning I came up from Houston, staying at my parents' house.
Okay.
Last night or yesterday afternoon I played at a place called City Orchard.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason I thought you were coming up from BCS, and
I passed through. I ended up coming through BCS too, but I guess last week I came in from Taos. I played with Colton French at the 101 on Thursday. And then Friday was a little dive bar in Burton shortstop.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. It's like this, there's a gas station, and then across the parking lot there's just like a kind of outdoor beer bar with a dirt floor and a patio, and it's pretty sweet, and they had a stage. And
now is Colton still out in Austin, or is he back?
No, he's in South Austin, and he's doing pretty good. He's liking his job, and he looks
Nice.
healthy, happy, and
Yeah. I've been trying to get a hold of him because since we do the bass drop thing, we're trying to do that about 3 times a year.
oh, cool.
And the first time we did it, I was running a little short on like people,
Yeah.
and luckily ended
Well, you
up
had Dustin, and was it just you and Dustin, or who else was with you?
so
This
this
last
last
time?
one, it was Dustin, it was Kevin, or Back Row King.
Kevin Wayne Johnson?
Yeah. Kevin Wayne
I don't
Johnson.
know if he likes it. I don't know if I've never actually personally just like asked him, but I always call. I'm always when I say his name out loud, I always just say, "What's up, Kevin Wayne? Kevin Wayne Johnson." I love his name.
I'm sure he doesn't mind one way or the other. So it was them two. It was originally supposed to be Billy Hartman, but he realized that he was going to have to drive 4 hours to get there because he thought we were down in like Belton, not Bastrop.
4 hours from Lipan to Belt or to not Belton to
Bastrop.
Bastrop?
Like that's what he was telling me. I was just like, you know what? I'm not. You gave me 2 days heads up, so
Yeah,
What-
and
no
you never
one-
know. Like sometimes you just wake up and you're like, man, you just
Yeah.
kind of like. I hate that feeling of firefighters. Like, am I gonna? I'm not saying he was
Well,
get away.
it
from
also
this.
didn't help that it was a noon show. Like that's kind of where that thing fits perfectly, is doing like the
Yeah,
like noon, like lunchtime crowd on a Sunday. Saturdays work too, because we've done a couple that were like later night shows, and we can get the vibe there, but it's just
yeah. I mean, when you're doing a live podcast, especially if with a talk that's about live music and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, you're kind of. I mean, it's hard enough for
Yeah.
us, like especially so acoustic, to be able to keep somebody's attention that's drinking at a dive bar all night.
oh yeah.
And then you just throw like 2 or 3 guys up on the radio. Like that's what translates to old girls just being like, "Oh, they got microphones. Let me just go stand up there."
Right.
I had no invitation, but
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, so it was them two, so it was Kevin, it was Dustin, and then when Billy said he couldn't do it, somebody from Dripping Springs reached out, Jillian Hudson, a young lady. I work with her mom, or I coordinate a lot through her mom because she's like 16 years old.
gotcha.
So it's like coordinate with the mom.
Good call.
So I posted out that we were looking for somebody, and she was like, "Hey, we can come down. Dripping's only like an hour." And I'm like,
stone's
"Cool."
throw. Nice.
And then it was another girl that is from Bastrop. Her name's Evelyn Jackson.
That name sounds familiar. I feel like
Yeah.
I've seen, I don't know her, but
Yeah, she's
seen the name. I'm sure.
she's from Bastrop, and she plays Austin all the time. So
Nice.
yeah. And so that was the last one, and I'm still in the process of trying to cut it down and edit it. Every time I get a little bit of momentum on it, it's just like,
Something comes up, or
Yeah,
hit a road bump, and you're like,
Yeah.
"How am I getting past this?"
well, because the thing is the issue, it's musicians playing 4 or 5 songs, and they're talking in between, right? So
Yeah.
you have 4 or 5 musicians, so you basically gotta edit it 4 or 5 different times because everybody plays a little bit differently. The volumes are a little bit, as much as we try and manage the volume,
Yeah.
it's not always that simple because we don't have a third guy that's his sole focus. So my co-host has to manage the audio from behind the PA system.
Oh, and then you gotta be able to.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, it makes it a little bit tricky, but we're trying to figure that third guy situation out here, at least for 26,
Yeah.
Maybe
I could see that. Dude, I can't do computers at all. Like, I've seen jobs that like, I could apply for, but then it'd be like, "Do you have experience in Excel?" It's like,
Nah.
nope.
Yeah. Honestly, I've been looking for it because the issue I've been having is my day job is so creative. Like it requires me to be so creative. It's starting to take away from this. Like I do marketing and advertising and stuff like that.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah. So I have to be like on producing content for these brands all day, and then I come home and it's like, I've got to do the exact same thing for myself, and I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
I'd much rather just sit here and watch TV for the next 4 hours. And
Yeah, it's really easy to like the taking care of yourself, and then you like those priorities and boundaries, and trying to just figure out like okay, this like pays the bills, but this like actually kind of fills me.
Yeah.
Like in a way that's not just money.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of why I moved to doing these in person, because the first half of the year
You were doing them. You started off doing Zooms, huh?
well, no, originally back in New Mexico when we started doing this, it was all in person. We were doing.
Oh, okay.
It was like anytime somebody would come through, we'd sit down at the back of this coffee shop that's right there on Main, Stellar Coffee. I don't know if you.
Okay. Yeah. No, I've always been on the either.
Yeah.
I either stay. If I'm in Roswell, I'm either staying at the Walmart on the north side of town, or I'm staying at the Planet Fitness on the south side of town.
Fair. So, yeah. So we would do that. We'd do it in person, and then I left Roswell. I moved to Florida. Did that in person I'd go to a festival or whatever and knock out a bunch of interviews, just kind of do it that way. And then I moved here and I kept the train going and doing it in person, but then the pandemic hit.
Gotcha.
And it was like, okay, well, nobody wants to come through anymore, so let's figure that out. And luckily I'd met Dustin right before the pandemic.
Oh, nice.
And so he kind of started introducing me to some people. He was like, hey, these are the people you want to hang out with or get on or whatever. And so then I just started doing them on Zoom. And so the first half of this year I was doing...
Which also probably gave you a bigger net to cast.
Oh, yeah, it did. It really did. But the issue was the end of last year, the beginning of this year, I was doing them daily. Like I was doing 20, 30, 40-minute interviews every day.
Nice.
Which is cool.
Was that too hard to maintain? Maybe not every day, but like that kind of tendency, like where you get 1 week where you do, oh, I did it. It's like a gym routine or something. Yeah. It's just like, I'm going to try to go every day and then be happy with like 2 or 3 times a week.
Right. It wasn't hard because the end of last year, I did like 105 days in a row. And then like Christmas hit and I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, take a break. And then also you don't want to be bugging somebody while you're like, hey, come in. It's like, well, with my family. Like.
Right, yeah. And so then the beginning of the year, I started going again, and I think I went 160 some odd days.
That's cool.
All the way up till like mid-May or something. And I was like, okay. And then I started realizing, and this is kind of where like the whole mental aspect of the industry kind of comes into play. I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I'm doing all these interviews. I'm having a okay time doing it, but then I start realizing that a lot of the people that would invite me out to shows, or that would be like, hey man, we're over here playing at Southern Roots or whatever, those calls stopped coming because they stopped worrying because they knew I was always going to be doing podcasts.
Okay.
Like,
so you just kind of, are you saying you just like kind of missed out on more live opportunities?
Well, no, not live, just like more opportunities to just be a guy and just hang out and just
kind of see the shows and like that's it's part of why you're doing the interviews is the music itself, not
just kind of missing out on that and just actually getting to know them as getting to know musicians as people and not just, hey, I want to hear the best PR version of yourself on this Zoom, kind of that whole ordeal. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take a pause. And then a lot of the people that I thought were coming around, they just stopped showing up altogether. And so I was like, okay, that kind of hurts. And so then I was just like, you know what? I can't let all this die just because I'm in my feels about.
Yeah, and that's a really hard thing to do for just like just by person basis. Is like, I mean, there might be a handful of like, let's just say, 1 out of 10 of those people that are like, actually like, I don't want to, blah, blah. But like most of them are just so caught up in their own day-to-day life. Yeah. You just kind of have I feel like sometimes I personally will have this kind of, not fight or flight, but on the fence moment of like, am I bugging this person? Yeah. Oh, I won't even bother. And then we're both just ultimately probably thinking the same thing of like, oh, he probably don't want me to bother him. And then, oh, he probably don't want me. And then we're just both just kind of sitting there looking at our phones.
Right. And it's also one of the things where a lot of the people that I actually get, like yourself, like Kevin, like Dustin, Lily, Mary, Charlotte, like all the people that I actually get along with in a lot of regards, they don't live anywhere near me. I mean, I guess Temple's not too bad, but still it's like, if we're going to go somewhere, it's like, I'm not going to drive an hour to go somewhere and then risk having to drive back because the cops are the cops and they're always going to be the cops, you know. But
well, what's the like? I don't even really know. Dustin was the only person that I knew in the somewhere close in the Waco area.
Yeah.
What's the like kind of solo like songwriter scene like in Waco? Have you met anybody?
It's not bad. Like it's definitely got its own thing. You know, there's people here that they're doing their thing, and that's kind of. I don't want to say that they're local. They're staying local, and that's where they're like they go play on Friday nights. They go play on Saturday nights. That's the extent of their music career, because that's not fair.
Yeah.
But the scene here feels like it's a lot of cover like it's like they go do the bar thing where it's a lot of cover songs.
I feel like I personally am so like in and out of that because it's like part of it comes, like you gotta make some money doing it, and then what are you doing? And then, but a lot of it is if they're like really about their career and about their music, they're not just playing Waco. They're gonna they're gonna do a Waco show, but then they're gonna go to Dallas or Fort Worth, Austin, a couple hour radius.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, and that's cool. And to me, as long as they're not going to Nashville, like, because Nashville, you kind of fall in that same trap.
Oh, yeah,
where
it's like Cover City.
Yeah,
like that's I thought I saw something. You want to come up here? This is Heina.
That's funny.
Heina, which is I was told is like a Chicano slang for pretty woman. That's pretty funny. Girl. But
so how's everything with your music going?
It's going good. I think I've kind of taken, I wouldn't say a step back from it. I'm just being a little bit more, I'm giving myself a little more grace and being a little more patient with like what I want moving forward. Cause more than over the last year or so, like more than once I've had the thought of just kind of like I've done a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do already when I first started playing music, and I wonder if this microphone's gonna pick up her purring.
Okay. Maybe not.
But I'm working for a youth corps or a conservation corps out in Taos, and then my schedule works to where it's 8 days on and 6 days off, so I'm still able to play kind of almost all over the state of New Mexico. I've been going out there prior to getting this job in Taos. I've been going out there every January for the last like 4 years. I've played a handful of places in Albuquerque, and then there's a brewing co-op. Like it's like they got like 20 different hands in the pot, but most of them all work at the labs in Los Alamos. So I'll play at a place called Bathtub Row there. That's one of my favorite places in the state to play.
Nice.
And then there's a small beer bar on the other side of the mountain, the Enchanted Circle. You know where Philmont is? Cimarron and all that. So yeah, just outside.
Boy Scout camp?
Yeah, just outside of Philmont, there's a little bar. Well, they've actually, I think it's on the map too as Cold Beer, New Mexico. But it's just a little dive bar that I play at. But now, like kind of moving forward, I've got a good handful of songs, and then want to redo some of the ones that I've already put on the internet, and just really try to. I've never released like a full body of work.
Yeah,
like I've never released a full body of work, and I like all the songs that I've put out. There's some I've grown a lot as a musician. I've never really considered myself a guitar player. I just wanted to do something with the words, and so I couldn't be the, poetry open, and so I picked up the guitar, and I'm still learning on a day-to-day basis how to play it. But there's some songs I want to re-record. There's some songs I want to put out, but I want to take my time. Like I did the singles, releasing singles for a couple years, and I just was convinced, like just the filing cabinet so full and people's attention span so short. And I just, at that time, I was just really thinking about that. Like, okay, like just 3-minute songs at a time. It's all I'm asking you for you to listen. And a couple months later, I'll put another 3 or 4 minute song out.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, honestly, I even like after I heard it, like fully through, Dustin Brown's like, I guess it's his 3rd album, but it really is like his debut album, self-titled, and man, it's so good. And I was like texting him, I was just like, dude, this is a game changer. Just knowing you know, like you're inspiring me to like really kind of put some effort into. Recording studios make me have so much anxiety. Like the idea of paying that amount of money and you're on the clock, you know, it's you're getting some really good quality work and equipment and all that kind of stuff for sessions players.
Oh yeah.
But
unless you got a band. Yeah, true. And then the mental aspect, and as soon as I hear that clave, that click in my ear in the headphones, it's like rubbing like this, you know. I can't do it. So I really need to start practicing with a metronome. I mean, honestly, I feel like the metronome, yes, has been around forever, but I feel like that's something that more modern musicians have kind of started using, because I keep reading these articles about how back in the day they're like, yeah, we were just always in time, you know.
And it's a feel, and like sometimes I've made this comment actually to a friend of mine, Wes Barlow. He's a fiddle player. He plays a lot of fiddle tracks on a lot of people's music, and he was we were recording a song, and had to do it a couple times over, and I was just like, yeah, man, like I'm trying to get in this right mode or this right feeling, because it really is a feeling. I'm just not feeling it right now. And he goes, oh, you're a feeler. Kind of laughed about it. He was like, no, like I feel like I know there's two, when it comes to like writing songs and playing songs, there's like machines and there's feelers, and he's like, you put that click in my ear, and I'm just he's not just a hired gun. He sings his own songs too, but he's like, I'm a machine, but I get it, you know. So we got the track done.
Nice. Yeah, because you just released a song back in February, right?
Yeah, February was, I guess, the last time I put out Pain on Pain. And yeah, Wes played fiddle on that, and it was produced by a songwriter named Dylan Alt. He moved here from Ohio. Well, he lives in Bryan now, but yeah, he's got a lot of great songs. He's probably somebody you should try to have on. Yeah, Dylan Alt. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out to him. Yeah, we got some really cool musicians that are. We got Trick Myers coming on at the end of the month. I think he's from Taos, actually.
Really? That Trick Myers?
Yes,
yeah, I've seen his flyers.
Yeah, he's.
I think he plays at the burger stand.
Yeah. He's from Taos, but I think he lives down in like Houston or something, or the Houston area.
He probably goes back and forth, because I definitely remember seeing some of. I've tried to in Taos, very subtly have reached out. I haven't really really tried to find the connections, because working, I don't know what it is, just like you working with the youth corps. I don't want to be playing local shows and then like run into one of the crew members and stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just a little too close to home. And also, I don't know, I can't. I love Taos, but there's something about it where I'm like,
it's a close-knit community. It's one of those things where it's a small, close-knit community, and once you get...
That's what I'm saying. The longer I'm there, I'm like...
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I got here in Waco, is like, it was... When I also came here right before the pandemic, like 6 months before the pandemic.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah. And so it was just kind of like, I started getting in a little bit, and then the pandemic happened, and it was like, okay, well... And so then by 21, it was just like, all right, well, I guess I got to start over again. But the more you stick around some of these small towns, the more you're going to be like, oh, dang, I don't know if I want to leave. I don't know if I can leave.
Well, it's always nice, and it's not necessarily healthy in the long term, but staying around for you can either drive through towns or stay around for a couple months, maybe stay around for a year.
Yeah.
And then if you'll end up finding a way to enjoy yourself, and then you just have that kind of place to come back to whether it's 2 or 5 years later when you after you leave, or wherever you end up going, it doesn't work out, and you're like, well, I'll go back to
right.
wherever.
That's how it was when I was out in Roswell. It was like I moved there, didn't know no one, didn't know.
Where did you move from Roswell from? From Florida?
Technically, yes. So I'm from Chicago originally.
Nice.
Yeah. So I lived there.
I forget that.
Yeah.
I've never told me that before.
I lived there till I was about 22, and then I went to school and bounced around a little bit while I was at school, and then I landed in Kentucky out of graduation, and then I left my job there because they were cutting me from full time to part time. I was only making like $8 an hour.
Yeah. Wow.
It was just like, all right, well, I can't. I can't do this anymore.
That sounds like it's for the birds.
Yeah. And so then I moved back down to Florida with my parents, and then that was in July. Come October, I got a job offer out in New Mexico. My parents had moved from Chicago to Florida because my dad worked out of Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go stay with them, because my sister was in school at the time, and she was living with her boyfriend and all that jazz. And I'm like, I'm not going to go impede on them. That sounds like a terrible idea. So I got the job out in New Mexico, moved out there in 2013, and stayed there for 4 years. And it took about 2 years for me to get out of the New Mexico cycle.
Okay.
Where...
Elaborate.
Basically what it was is anytime something was going... It took about 2 years for people to realize that I didn't live there anymore, because they would be like at work.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like at work, or the job that I had, I was like the contact for a lot of the nonprofits. I was the contact for a lot of the clients. And so anytime, like the less regular clients, where they would be like, hey, we shoot a commercial every month. They knew pretty much off the top that I was leaving, so they knew not to call me anymore. But like the clients that were wanting to shoot something, like they only shoot like once a year or every 6-9 months.
They'd get to that point in the year.
Be like, hey, and it's like, hey, I don't live in New Mexico anymore. So it took me about 2 years to get out of that cycle, and then I ended up moving here afterwards. So it's just like, oh, okay. Did you
ever hear? So one of the covers that I play, not all, but it's part of my sets and stuff. I play a Hayes Carl cover called "Live Free or Die," and I preface it a little bit with a little, 2 cents, a little story, not story, but a little banter about license plate sayings. And Texas Lone Star State, Arkansas is natural state, Oklahoma's okay, and then I guess when I do that in New Mexico, when I go through that whole spiel, I say like, well, they've got, it's either green chili capital or it'll say land of enchantment. And apparently the thing, or like what a lot of people say is land of entrapment that live there.
Yep.
And I had never, I guess prior to, I'd been coming out there maybe at least for 3 or 4 years, and I never heard it until I moved and played a show once. And
the biggest saying out there is New Mexico, come on vacation, leave on probation.
Leave on probation, yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean, that's New Mexico for you, so.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine that works at the local dive in Bryan, who her family, part of her family was out in Albuquerque, and she said that her grandfather would drive around with $300 cash in his pocket all the time, because they would get pulled over by cops that were like, maybe not as extreme as like, but like the kind of thing where hits the tail light with the billy club, and it's like, your tail light's out.
There was this one time I was up, so I was doing my job, and I was up in Albuquerque because I was shadowing a different job, same company, but like up in Albuquerque, because for the TV station, how it works in New Mexico is the main station is in Albuquerque,
and then they have it all.
They have like 2 feeder stations. One's in Farmington, and then one's down in Roswell. Okay. So I was based out of Roswell, and they had a couple of job openings up in Albuquerque, and I was like, that would be the place to go because it pays better. It's probably better quality of living.
And then you drove into the international district, and you're like,
right?
Maybe not.
And so. And so I was up there doing that, and I had to get up early the next morning because it was I'm not a huge comic book nerd, but they had a bunch of people that I knew. It was going to be Albuquerque Comic Con.
Cool, yeah.
And it was just like a bunch of people that I knew or that I was fans of growing up. And I'm like, you know what? I'll go to that and hang out. And then this girl I was talking to at the time, she lived down in Las Cruces.
Okay.
And she was like, hey, I really want to go. And I'm like, well, I'll be up in Albuquerque if you want to come up.
She went, okay.
Yeah, she's like, oh, okay, cool. Calls me a week later. She's like, hey, I don't have a car. And I'm like,
she wanted to come. She wanted you to come pick her up.
And I was like, okay. And so I was just like, at that time I was a stupid.
We're talking here or.
Yep. At that time I was a simp, so I was just like, okay.
Yeah, sure, I'll come pick you up.
Yeah, I'll come get you. And so
you get there and she, can I bring a friend? Like,
no,
what?
No, it wasn't that crazy. So I was driving down and I was doing like 95 on a 70. Like I was hauling ass. Like just like, all right.
Up 25?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or down 25. Because I was
from Albuquerque. Okay.
Yeah, from Albuquerque to Las Cruces. And so I was just like hauling ass, and there was this truck that was sitting in the right lane just being slow as shit. And I was just like, all right, rip it and go right around him.
Cops hiding right in front of him.
Nope. Cop from the other side comes around, pulls around, and he's like, you know how fast you were going? I was like, yeah, I know. I'm speeding. I'm sorry. He's like, that's going to be a $300 ticket. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Unless...
No.
Unless you got that shit in cash on you right now.
Yeah. And so he was like, I'm going to have to write you a ticket for that. You got your insurance and all that stuff. And I at the time, I had just paid my insurance, but I didn't get my
You didn't have your card, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have my card. And he's like...
Like, you didn't have the thing on the phone. That's the worst thing, is trying to pull up your insurance on your phone and getting pulled over at like 10:30 p.m. And
Right. And so I handed him my old card. I was like, I don't have an updated card, but here's my insurance policy.
Should
all
be
that.
the same number.
Yeah, here's my insurance policy, all that jazz. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to give you a $300 ticket for the speeding because you were doing in excess of 20 miles an hour over the speed limit or whatever. Mm-hmm. I could jam you up there, but I'm going to give you the speeding ticket. And then here's a $1,500 fine for not having an up-to-date insurance card. And I'm like, wait, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, if you show proof you have an updated insurance card, that ticket will go away. And I'm like, Mom, send me my updated insurance card, because she had like all that internet stuff set up. And I was just like...
Yeah, that's ridiculous, because I know, I'm almost positive that it's like your insurance policy number is what they put into their computer. It should be able to pull up at like, I mean, I've gotten out of tickets before, and I didn't even have my driver's license on me. It was like a dummy, but I knew my number. Yeah. And they were like, all right, you're good. You know, you're supposed to have that thing on you. Yeah. Well, you'll be fine, you know.
No, this guy was looking to, like, every speeding ticket I've ever gotten has come out of New Mexico. Other than that,
oh really?
I've had a clean record.
Dude, knock on wood, I'm going back to that state in a couple weeks.
Right? And it's just then the last time I went, it was the day I found out my mom had pancreatic cancer.
Oh wow!
And so I was getting ready to leave town. I normally the standard. Not operating procedure, but normally what I did was, as I'm leaving, just call my mom, hey, I'm heading back to Texas. Just wanted to give you a heads up, you know, all that jazz. Because once you get out in West Texas and...
Yeah, you're spotty service.
Yeah, spotty service all the way around. And she tells me, and I'm like, fuck, I've got an 8-hour drive home.
Yeah, now I just got to sit with this.
Yeah, I got to sit with this. And in reality, I should have hung back just kind of...
No one would have blamed you if your foot got a little heavier.
Right? And so... I was like, in reality, I should have just hung back and went back to my buddy's spot and been like, hey, man,
let me sleep on this, yeah.
Let me hang on this for a minute. But I was just like, no, I got to get back. And so I started driving, and I was coming through Tatum.
Tatum? I guess, so did you would go through that little small road, like your border town would be Bronco, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we'd go, or no... Yeah, maybe, bro. Yeah, that's right.
If you would come through like Abilene and then back up. Yeah.
So I'm coming through Tatum. I stop at the stop sign, full stop, all that stuff, go. And I'm running with like 4 cars. I'm doing like 47 and a 40. Nothing crazy, you know, just kind of keeping up with the flow. Cop pulls in behind me, pulls me over out of everyone. And I'm just like,
were you in the back? You were the first one?
Yeah, I was in the back. I was like, you son of a bitch. And then he doesn't even he's like, give me your license and your thing. And I'm like, okay. And like, he
didn't address why you pulled
he
over.
literally was not having it. He was just like, here's your ticket.
I got
like,
somebody down my throat right now. I got to meet my quota.
Yeah.
Just give me your stuff so I can give you this ticket.
I was just sitting there. I was like, and he was like, if you got a problem with this, you can go to the courthouse. I'm not coming back out to fucking New Mexico to fight a $200 ticket or whatever. Like, it'd cost me more in gas than it would be to just pay the stupid ticket.
Yeah.
And so, but other than that, I love New Mexico.
It's such a toss-up. It's a mixed bag. I remember like my thought process when the first time I ever drove out there, actually to play a show at Bathtub Row in Los Alamos. You know, my first thought was just like, I guess maybe even on my way out of the state after I, seen Santa Fe, was in Los Alamos, up at Pajarito and Camp May, and it was, it was pretty, and then like learning about, or I had kind of already known about the history of Los Alamos, but learning more, or just being in the place and being like, wow, this is beautiful. Yeah. The atomic bomb was made here. Leaving the state, I was just like, man. That is one big, brown, beautiful mess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's great, but it's also like not that great.
Right. And you came down here just in time to miss everything with all the rain and whatnot.
Yeah. Is it rain? Is it got monsoons up there right now?
No, I mean here.
Oh,
well, and then
also,
I guess further south of you guys were having the same issues in.
Yeah, I guess it was a couple days after what happened in Kirk County. Ruidoso, I think that's their like third in the last 2 years. That's like their third pretty big flood mudslide. So interesting story about that. The one last year was so bad that a lot of the people in Ruidoso ended up having to come down to Roswell because their houses were destroyed and they just couldn't rebuild, or it was taking forever to And that was like maybe a month after that giant wildfire down there too.
Oh yeah. And so you go to Roswell and you try and buy a hotel. The only thing that's available, well, it's that, but the only thing that's available are the Fleabag motels that are
the Motel 7.
Yeah, the Motel 7.
Clovis.
And all that jazz. And it's just like every time I go there, it's like my buddy, he's got like 5 kids. So I'm just like, when I don't have to stay at his place, I don't do it. Nothing against him, and he knows he knows what it is. And so there's this place right on Main. I'll stop at the Carlton or Clarion. No, Clarion. That's what it is.
Is this in Doso or
no? This is in Roswell.
Oh, okay.
There's the Clarion in Roswell, and originally when I started going there, it was fine. It was like that was my place to go because people knew who I was there, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, he's the podcast guy. He does podcasts in our room." Now it's ran by a bunch of Indian, like from India. Yeah. A bunch of Indian dudes. And that place is just like, holy shit, what is going on here?
Oh,
every time I pull in, there's a meth head just kind of sitting in the middle of the driveway.
Yeah, every room has that little weird melted thing on the ground on the porcelain.
Yeah.
Where they've dropped a
I'm just like,
pipe.
Yep. And I'm just like, God, I don't want to stay here, but I also don't want to pay $400 to go stay at the nice hotel.
Yeah, I've always thought it'd be really cool to get some kind of like a web series or some kind of show that specifically like reviews dirt Fleabag motels.
Oh yeah, so there's this guy on YouTube,
but like make it all kind of influencer-y.
Yeah,
just like
there's this guy on YouTube. His name is Tommy G.
Okay.
He does like in-depth. They're like in-depth. They call them documentaries, but they're more like vlog-style documentaries about just like whatever topic is he has for that week.
Okay.
And one week they were coming back from one shoot to another shoot, and they were in like Alabama. Okay. And they're like, "Hey, let's do a video about staying one night in the worst-rated hotel in Alabama."
In the state?
In the state, the worst-rated hotel. And so they do it, and they end up going in, and there's like cockroaches on their bedding and like fleas and all this shit. And their door didn't even lock all the way. It kind of like you just put a little bit of pressure on the door and it pops open.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, that's sketchy as shit.
Yeah, the only
So-
way to really keep it locked is that tiny little.
Yeah. And so they went to Walmart and they bought like a door jammer and like all this shit.
And like, yeah.
Yeah, and just to make it safe. And they're like, okay, cool. And it was a really interesting, kind of like what you're talking about, but really
It's like
interesting.
Ghost Adventures, but
Oh, yeah.
instead of ghosts,
It's
it's daywalkers.
right. It's daywalkers, and they're like, they do like a recap, and they're like, yeah, we didn't film this part, but it was like 4 a.m. and somebody tried to kick our door in.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, so you said you're getting ready to head to Chicago?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I would. If you got any recommendations, I will.
Whereabouts in Chicago?
So I don't know.
Okay.
My brother, I mean, he lives somewhat close to the river, but
Okay.
it's a long river.
Okay, so he's actually in proper Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He, man, I want to say, I don't think it's north. I think it's north of Goose Island.
Okay.
But their first apartment when they moved out there was in that area.
Yeah. Okay. So he's in proper Chicago, like not like a lot of, like myself included, I grew up in the south suburbs, but because nobody knew the city I grew up in, but they always wanted to know where I lived, I'd just say Chicago.
Yeah, it's like Katy to Houston.
Yeah.
You know, I'm from Pflugerville, but it starts with a P.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm from Austin.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And so the fact that he's in Chicago proper, right on the river. My dad was up there not long ago. He said Navy Pier is kind of popping right now. Like it's kind of the spot to be.
Okay.
He
And I don't even know what that is. Is that just an area?
Yeah. So basically,
Like
it's
a
an actual
neighborhood?
pier. Like imagine like a pier out in the lake.
Okay.
Navy Pier is kind of a place to be. They've got a lot of there's like a little community district, I guess is the best way to kind of word it, around there where they'll do like live shows. They'll have like
Okay,
musicians come out and do their thing.
Do you ever see like street performers and stuff out there, like
Yeah,
buskers?
Yeah, you'll go out, if you go out to like Grant Park and stuff. I'm sure they have all that there.
Grant Park,
Or if you take the train system, get on the train system. They do. They have street performers in the trains, so like not like New York where they're on the train, but like in the walkways and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll have street performers there, which is really cool. Let's see. In Chicago, I don't know what you're into, like as far as like outside of music and whatnot. They have some really cool record stores. Got to try the deep dish pizza.
Yeah.
Actually, Italian beef sandwiches. That's kind of Chicago's. Like
Yeah, for sure.
like everybody knows Chicago for pizza and hot dogs, but Italian beef sandwiches,
beef,
it's
yeah.
like that's their.
I loved the first couple seasons of The Bear, but they've lost me on the last couple are just a little too, not enough character development, way too just like artsy cinematic stuff, which is still cool, but
Yeah.
like you got to do other stuff too.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you're into like baseball,
Yeah, I wouldn't. Are you a baseball fan? Would you consider yourself a White Sox or a Cubs
yeah,
fan?
I'm a White Sox fan.
Okay.
If you're going just
They
to
can
have,
only get better from now.
yeah, right. If you're going to have an authentic Chicago experience,
You got to go to Wrigley.
you got to go to Wrigley. But if you're going just to have a good time,
Dude, I bet I could find way cheaper tickets though at Comerica if I just wanted to have a hot dog and a beer. And
yeah,
enjoy a
if you're just
baseball
going
game.
to have a good time and not pay out your ass, go to Guaranteed Rate. It'll be a good time.
It's not Comerica anymore. It's different.
It's Guaranteed. Let's see, it was Comiskey, it was US Cellular,
That's what I'm
and that. See, the names progressively get worse because like Comiskey, that was a solid name. And then the US Cellular, originally I hated it, but then once they kind of abbreviated it to the cell, like, hey, we're going to the cell today. You know, that was kind of a cool.
That's cool.
But now Guaranteed Rate Field, and it's like, oh, we're going to the rate. And I'm like, that sounds retarded.
You gotta say that rate.
Rate. Rate with the T. But yeah, going to a White Sox game, that'll be cool. Like if you're just going to have a beer and a hot dog and watch a game.
I love doing that, and I'll watch baseball game. I grew up. My grandmother watches every single Astros game if it's on television, And even when they were, horrible in the early 2000s up to like '05 when they went to the World Series and lost to the White Sox. And,
when I moved here, my boss is a huge Astros fan, and I just came in wearing my White Sox hat, not knowing she was an Astros fan.
Yeah, I remember Bobby Jenks. He was their closer, and every pitch he threw was like 105 miles an hour.
He just passed away.
Really?
Yeah. He was a manager for one of the independent teams in Chicago, actually.
Okay.
So like Chicago,
like a farm league or like
no. So you've got your farm teams, and then you've got like independent ball.
Yeah.
I know way too much about this, but it is what it is.
So you're a baseball fan. I'm not much of a baseball. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I was a very big baseball fan, and I worked in like when I was in college. So I interned for a bunch of baseball teams.
Nice.
When I was in college, so I know a little bit more than I probably should. But there's like you got your farm system where it's like single A, double A, triple A, all that jazz. But then you have independent professional baseball, which is
it's like a city league or something.
It's unaffiliated. So like if somebody. If they get let go, like let's say somebody gets let go by the Astros, they'll go sign with one of these teams and they'll keep their professional status, and they're not getting paid nearly as much, but
but they can pay their light bill or something and still play baseball.
They're still playing baseball, and there's an opportunity for them to get picked up somewhere, like by the Angels or whoever,
Yeah.
So he was the manager of this team called the Chicago Hot Dogs, which is part of the one of the independent leagues, and then he had been dealing with stomach cancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was over in Paris and just passed away. So
that's wild. I can't believe I remembered Bobby Jenks.
Right? Oh, I mean, he was a very good pitch. Like,
I remember every time. Like, I mean, because it was a 4-game sweep, and like every time he would come walking out in like the 8th inning or 9th inning. It's like, all right, well, this game's over.
Anytime my boss starts to irritate me a little bit, I keep telling him, I'm like, you keep running your mouth at me like this, I'm going to go buy the 2005 Chicago Tribune cover of when the White Sox won, and you see Craig Biggio sitting right there crying his little ass off. And,
man,
the
Killer Bees.
Yeah. And I'm going to just put it right on the front of right on my wall here. So anytime you walk in here, you have to sit there in your sorrow.
That's funny.
Which is very funny because Astros have won like 3 titles since then. So it's just like,
Yeah, it is kind of wild. I mean, I get whatever about what you say about the whole trash can thing, but it's like, there's the hate. The hate is real.
Oh yeah,
the hate is real.
It is. It really is.
They beat the Dodgers like 18-1 the other day.
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago.
It'll be interesting to see how this
cheating with this one.
The fact that they seem to continually lose their big players or like let them go.
The Astros.
The Astros.
That's just Houston. That's just Houston sports in general. They're not trying to win the championship. They're trying to be just good enough to where the jersey sales will be consistent, and it's
And let's see, the Rockets. Let's see, was it the Rockets?
They got Durant.
It's like I'm sitting there looking at that, and I'm like, that screams like old school White Sox moves, like back in the early 2000s. If the White Sox had like a terrible,
this is a podcast now.
Oh yeah, and like after they won it was like after they won the World Series, they went downhill quickly.
Yeah,
and so to keep the jersey sales and ticket sales up, every year at the trade deadline.
They do that. This past year, they did those City Connect jerseys that just look like a Bulls baseball jersey.
I like this year's. Them? I like them. They're cool. But
I was just like, you could have made them look a little less exactly like a Bulls jersey.
Well, because the whole plan, I think, originally was the Bulls were going to do something similar, and it was going to be like a White Sox theme.
And then they flopped on them. And they were like, you look like an idiot.
Because they're owned by the owner of the Bulls is the owner of the White. Like
I didn't know that.
It's same ownership group.
I didn't know that.
But let's see. So in like 2007, 2008, 2009, in that ballpark, when the White Sox were like dog shit terrible, they would go at the trade deadline and just get the biggest name value guy. So like one year they went and got Ken Griffey Jr.,
That's right.
He was in Cincinnati, and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you Steve over here for your very aged out Ken Griffey Jr."
Yeah, that like last year where like we're just trying to get some ticket sales.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get one more contract before you retire.
Yep. And so it was like, bring him in. He wasn't going back to Cincinnati, so it didn't really matter. And it's like, all right, you're popping the ticket sales, because I went to a few games that end of the season just to go see Griffey play. They did it with Manny Ramirez, and then like the next year they did it with somebody else, and it was just like, all right, you guys are just trying to sell tickets. This isn't fun anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we'll see. I might go to a White Sox game. I might go to.
Oh yeah, that is
be up
what
to
we got on that conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, when in Taos, when I have I've only gone once this year, but yeah, those 6 days off. I guess a couple months ago, I went up to Denver for a couple Rockies games.
Nice.
Yeah, the Rockies horrible.
Oh yeah.
But Coors Field is so nice.
Oh yeah.
You sit out there, just have a beer or two, and like, I don't know, 7 hot dogs.
I feel it. So you said your Taos deal is up in November?
Yeah, mid-November I'll be coming back to Texas, and I'm putting together a Brazos Valley based music festival right after Thanksgiving. It's
okay.
28th and 29th. It's called Howdy Fest.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I'll be down in Bastrop that weekend.
Nice.
So actually, have you already started promoting Howdy Fest? Because
a little bit here and there, but
I swear
not
I've
really.
seen like a flyer or something for it.
Yeah, so I haven't made the flyer yet. I have a pretty small Instagram right now, but
okay, that's what it is.
As of right now, the confirmed acts I have is well, I don't know if Dustin's confirmed, but at one point he said
Let's
he was.
call him right now and confirm.
All right, at one point he was, and he said he was good. Maybe I assumed or something, and then I posted him, one of his like high quality, promo photos, and he was like, "Did I agree to this?" And I was like, "Oh shoot, okay, well, we got a lot of time between now and then. Let me know." But to know, I got Gabe Wooten from Galveston's going to be there, Billy Hartman, Torrin Franklin. Grifters and Shills. It's a duo.
I got a funny story about them.
Really?
So I don't know who it is in Drifters and Grifters.
Oh, see, that's the thing. So Drifters and Grifters, that's Nathan, and then Grifter and Shills.
Okay.
They're also based out of, I guess, Baytown.
Okay.
But I know who you're talking about. Drifters and Grifters.
So they're not playing.
I plan on reaching out to them too.
Okay.
They were a part of it last year.
Oh, okay,
too.
gotcha.
And it was just they're in town, and I'll wait. A couple weeks. They already know that they've got a welcome invitation.
Okay,
it's just a matter of whether they can do it or not.
Yeah.
So
I had him on the podcast, one of them. I don't remember who. Maybe it was Nathan. I don't remember who I had on the podcast. I had one member of Drifters and Grifters on the podcast.
Maybe it was Tyler Drake.
I'll have to go look.
Okay.
I'll have to go look.
It was either one of the two of them, but yeah.
Because this was like right around Christmas a couple years ago. And come to find out that I worked with one of their wives at the news station.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Because you did ABC or yeah. Okay.
And I worked with one of their wives, and I'm sitting there having a podcast with this guy, and then I find out I was telling somebody at work, and they're like, "Doesn't what's her face's husband, or I don't think
play music or whatever?" He's like, yeah, that's the guy. What? Oh,
yeah. I was like, shit. Okay, well, whatever. It is what it is.
Nice. He's a good dude.
Yeah. So it was that's cool though. I've seen the like something, I don't know, maybe a social media graphic or something for Howdy Fest. So that's...
Yeah, no, it was last year was the first year that we did it, and it went off pretty well for being the day after Thanksgiving. And part of the reason why I wanted to, make it a yearly thing is that UT and A&M are playing again, and they're going back and forth between Austin and Bryan and College Station, and so like a lot of people they got family in either or, and that's just like that's the big, right after Thanksgiving that I grew up. Texas A&M versus UT or TU, depending on what you're a fan of, and then we'll have a little music festival the following weekend.
Nice, that's really cool.
So it'll be a lot of fun. There's we're going from 1 day festival to 2 day festival at year 2. So
nice.
Progress is progress.
So it's Friday to Saturday?
Yeah,
Or Saturday?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I'll
Saturday.
be down in Bastrop on Sunday.
Okay.
And I didn't intentionally.
You got an open invitation too if you want to come set up.
I didn't do this intentionally. So last year we did the live podcast in Thanksgiving, or the Saturday after Thanksgiving, out in Tucson.
In Tucson, cool.
Yeah, we went out to Tucson, and just because we were like, hey, let's go somewhere we've never been, or not never been, but let's reach out to.
You're not actively day to day involved in the scene. You're let's try to
let's try and get into a new scene a little bit. And I knew this guy named PJ Bidwell, and he lives out in Tucson. I was like, hey man, what venues you guys got out there that would be open to the idea of doing like a live musician showcase podcast thing?
That kind of stuff. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. He's like, oh, here's a couple places. This is a place that I would recommend. It's like a brewery or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. Set that up, and then from there it's like, hey, we've got something here. Let's keep doing this. And we did one. Went down to Bastrop in March, Bastrop in June, technically June because it was June 1st. We're going back down to Bastrop in November. We'll be back out in Tucson in September.
Cool.
And
have you ever been to Bisbee?
I haven't, but my co-host has. They played shows at the Hitchin Post, I think.
Yeah, they're in for a fairly new bar, I believe. I think I've played there too.
Yeah.
Bisbee's such a cool town.
Yeah, it's the only reason we didn't do Bisbee was because you have to go to like Tucson to get down to Bisbee, like go. And then
you have to. It's at small roads, and you go through Tombstone, and then,
so it's just like, let's stop in Tucson. Tucson seems like it's got a little bit.
I mean, you got UA there, and it's just a much bigger town.
And then we'll be out in New Mexico. So we got that show in Bastrop on the 30th of November, and then December 7th, we've got our 10-year anniversary show in Roswell.
In Roswell, that's right. Okay.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, I kind of fucked myself there a little bit.
Really? Yeah.
Because
it's just a good amount of travel.
Yeah, it's just a lot of travel, and it's like,
because you're gonna come all the way back,
and
then go all the way back,
and
come all the way back,
and it's just like, okay, but I mean, the 10-year anniversary show, we're playing at the Liberty, and
that's cool. Yeah. I saw that. Yeah, the Liberty's awesome. And have you ever, when your time in Roswell, did you ever interview Tyler Jones from Doso Dirtbags?
No. But I know him.
He's a cool dude. He's a cool cat.
Know the Doso Dirtbags, and actually, when we got started, they were one of the first like groups that we wanted to work with, but we could never get the Redoso thing. Just our schedules never aligned to do anything.
Yeah.
But I knew
because they've been playing out in Roswell a good bit.
Yeah.
I should text Tyler and tell him to reach out to you.
Yeah, it's I know Tyler pretty good, or I did. I haven't talked to him in a while, but like Doso Dirtbags. What was the name of their band before they became the Doso Dirtbags?
I have no idea. I didn't know those were the before times.
And so
there's another band out there now in Roswell called something real crude, and I can't remember what it is. They play at Black Hawk Brewery all the time.
Okay.
And they were just playing a show with Doso Dirtbags this weekend, and I can't remember. But it's just like the band name is like, okay. Oh, you're gonna say that every time, y'all.
I'll have to look because I know, or I got CV's number.
It wasn't even crude. I remember it now. It's called Cocaine Freebird.
Okay, okay, there you go. Cocaine Freebird. They're probably a little bit of a newer band because I don't know who they are. You got Gross Domestic People, which is my buddy's band.
Okay, they're out of Roswell.
Yeah, they're out of Roswell. They don't play a whole lot of shows just because this is kind of like an extra thing that they do.
Yeah.
They get called for the Liberty if they need a headliner that kind of matches like a little bit more heavy metal type stuff. And they're just that band that they bust when they do have shows. They bust their ass to fill it and sell tickets and all that shit. So a lot of the venues like to book them.
Nice.
So you got them. I don't know if Amy's Not Breathing is still active, but that was a really good band when I was out in New Mexico. They were on tour with, or not on tour, they were opening for like a Treyu and a lot of those guys.
Oh wow,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, so they were doing a lot of that stuff. Amy's Not Breathing, boom. Revelation, they're a younger band, but they're kind of just there, you know.
It's like playing punk shows or something on the weekend.
Yeah, and then let's see, Amy's Not Breathing. What's the name of Pete's band? He's gone through a few different bands. There's a lot of really good stuff, and then you got your solo singer-songwriters.
Yeah.
And have you crossed paths with Klaus at all? Captain Klaus?
No, I don't
okay.
think so.
All
Okay, I'm thinking of Glauser. There's a guy out in, I think he lives in Angel Fire, Jeremiah Glauser.
Okay, no.
That's why
Yeah.
you said Klaus, and I was like, Glauser? Is
No.
referring to him? Yeah.
Well, we'll leave it there then.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
So yeah, that's cool. Tyler, how'd you get linked up with them? Or,
I had played at a Downshift.
Okay.
Downshift Brewing a couple times, and they pretty much have. It seems as if like I don't know if you would call it a residency, but they're playing. Yeah, that's where Tyler lives.
Yeah.
I think his bass player lives in Ruidoso as well, and yeah, they play at Downshift a lot, and I think they had a Wednesday slot that was like I guess a songwriter's night, but like Tyler was the host, and then they would have another songwriter, and we would just do like a song swap kind of thing.
That's really cool.
So
yeah, there's that, and then let's see, Erin Bent, she's out of Santa Fe. She's really talented.
Oh, I know that name too. Yeah, I've
yeah.
never met her. She plays at the Bathtub Row a good bit as well, and I think I've reached out to her maybe once before a couple of years ago. But yeah, no, I know she's always playing shows. I've seen her on the local news. And
she's out there grinding, so you can't get mad at that. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, there's a really good scene, except it's very heavy north. Like a lot of the industry seems to be in like Albuquerque, Santa Fe.
Sure.
And if you're anything further south of that, it's like
you're kind of out in no man's land in your own little small community.
Yeah. So.
Well, Santa Fe is I love, man. There's a guy that does some film work for Rocky Mountain Youth Corps. Mm-hmm. His business is called Slice of Santa Fe. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of that? No. He's a good guy. His name is Travis, but it just reminded me. Some film stuff.
And actually, there used to be this venue out in, is it Las Vegas, New Mexico? I think.
I don't know of any venues out there, but
they used to put on like punk shows.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was. We went out there in 2017. We were doing a documentary. We were following a punk band around. They were going out to Vegas. It was the first ever weed comic book convention.
Oh, nice.
Because it was the day that Nevada went full rec.
Cool.
And so we went out there.
Oh, you're talking about Nevada? Okay, Nevada.
No. You're
talking about New Mexico. New Mexico went full rec. Yeah.
No. So, okay, this is where it gets confusing. So they were going to Las Vegas. They were doing a tour built around this weed comic book convention in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
And it was the first day was the day they legally went full rec. 3 days prior, they had a show in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Okay.
And
the sign that's like, if you're looking for, you turn somewhere the wrong way in Albuquerque.
Yeah. And so they had this really cool venue. It was like a coffee shop, but in the back it had this big like showroom type thing.
Oh, okay. Was it like a consumption lounge almost? There's a place out in Mescalero outside of Ruidoso that's like it has a whole like lounge in the back.
This was a little bit more like if you were to go to like a Legion Hall fish fry type deal.
Nice. Okay.
You kind of get the layout that I'm kind of
VFW with Uncle Buck.
Yeah, if you go to like the VFW, this is kind of what the back of the building looks like. Nice. And it was cool, but nobody showed up. Like it was like literally me and my co-host or my business partner. And then they were able to pull in like 3 other people just randomly off the street. And we're just sitting in the back of this coffee shop and they're putting on this big punk show. And I'm like, there's like 5 of us here. This feels weird as shit right now.
Dang.
So, but it's one of those deals where you can't get bad at it. So.
No, yeah, it's like it's happening, and it's not probably happening anywhere. This
No.
there might be 5 or 6, 7, if we're lucky, 10 people.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that in a 100-mile radius, this isn't happening anywhere else.
No,
so.
not at all. Not at all. So, where are you off to tonight? Like, obviously, you're not going to make it.
So that sounds like a challenge. No, I'm not going to make it to Chicago. That's for sure.
I mean, you could. 14 hours.
Yeah, that's about. So it's 14 it's about with stops.
Yeah,
it's about 14 from Taos to Bryan, and but yeah, no, I actually like my favorite band ever, American Aquarium.
Yeah,
they're playing in Bloomington.
Okay.
And so my plan, I think, is to just try to get through Arkansas by the end of the night. And hopefully,
good luck.
Yeah, and
good luck.
Hopefully, get into some part of Missouri.
Okay.
By, I'm gonna guess sometime after midnight.
Okay.
And then,
honestly, it's not even worth going through Oklahoma at this point because you're gonna pay like
no.
$8. You're gonna pay. It's gonna save you time, but you're gonna pay $8 in tolls, and you're only gonna save like a half hour.
Yeah,
so.
No. My maps told me it was like the no tolls. The only difference was like 15.
Yeah,
15.
So the way I usually go is I'll take 35 up.
You go through McAllister? Oh, 35 up through Dallas.
Or I bypass Dallas over to 30 and then jump up to 40. And basically, you're going through Texarkana.
Yeah.
And then you
kind of diagonally split through the state of Arkansas. You go through Little Rock and then just past, I guess, just east of Jonesboro.
Yeah. And then you kind of bypass around Memphis. Like, you go into Memphis if you
West
want.
Memphis, yeah.
I wouldn't, but, you know, you bypass Memphis.
I know a couple people in Memphis that, there's a scene. There's a lot of cool stuff out there.
There definitely is a scene.
I'll be in Memphis. I'll be pulling into Memphis at like 10 p.m. probably.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But not. If you can get in, like, Missouri's really cool. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Twain National Forest, or is it maybe it's a state forest? I don't know, but I think I found a Cracker Barrel somewhere in the middle, eastern part of the state.
Yeah. Once you get
but I'll go see the Arch definitely.
Actually, that might be a bit out of your way to go to St. Louis.
The route that I'm taking takes me through St. Louis.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what I do with my
phone. Well, if you're going to Chicago, you're probably going. So when I go to like into Indiana a little bit more. So I go up 57.
Okay.
And I go nowhere near that part.
Let's see.
So
I had it up. Yeah, it's taking me. Well, now it's not gonna show me, but it's taking me through Arkansas, and.
So you're probably staying a little bit west then, which that's not bad.
Yeah, I'll probably find somewhere to stay around or outside the Mark Twain National Forest.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Then wake up in the morning, go see the Arch real quick, and then make my way to Bloomington.
Fair enough. Bloomington, and they're playing tomorrow, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, tomorrow night. I'm on a school night. Well, it's summertime, but
right
on a school night.
Right. That's cool. Sweet. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer then, because I know you got a little bit of a drive on you. And
no worries. I'm going to take my time, but I mean, I appreciate it.
Stop at Buc-ee's. Royce City.
Royce City? Oh, okay. Yeah, up on the.
Well, actually, I guess technically you got Royce City, and then there's the one up in or just up here in Hillsboro. So,
nice. I was talking with somebody about Buc-ee's yesterday, and apparently, like the biggest one is in Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been for the time being. I guess they started in Lake Jackson.
Yeah.
And they're currently building one down there that's supposed to be bigger.
And then once you start driving around in Chicago, once you get into like northern and northwestern Illinois, like depending on which way you come back, if you're going straight back to Taos, look out for the Wallies.
Wallies.
Okay. It's Illinois' answer to Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
So it's imagine Buc-ee's, but instead of a beaver, it's a moose.
Nice. Okay. Cool. I'll have to check that out.
It's like you pull up on it, and it's like, am I at a fucking Buc-ee's? It's like, nope, you're at Wally's.
That's funny.
So
is it Y or IES?
It's Y.
Y.
Yeah, it's Y. And from the best I can guess, is because it's primarily a Chicago thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be a vacation reference to Wally World with Chevy Chase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where they're trying to get out to California to go to Wally World.
Every time I hear Wally World, though, I just think of Walmart.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like that is 100% the facts. So
yeah, I'll have to. I mean this 100% sarcastically, but I hear Gary, Indiana is really great this time of year.
Honestly, Gary,
tell me about that. Yeah, well,
So-
everybody shits on Gary, and I've heard that it's like 80-something% of all like structures in the city limits are like not occupied.
So here's the thing about Gary. My dad used to work there. Like when we
Really?
were living in South Chicago, my
I
dad.
know it used to be a big bustling town.
So Gary's an old mill town.
Okay.
So like the steel mill, it used to be owned by it probably wasn't Inland Steel at that point, but the steel, whatever the big steel company was, it was
Okay.
owned there. That's where all the workers lived. That's where, everything. And then once the steel industry kind of took a shit, the
whole
community,
town left,
the whole town left. And there's a movement there to try and restore the city because it's a cool city. Like it's got a lot of history.
Really?
And it's just unfortunate that it has the reputation it has.
Well, you got the third biggest city in Chicago real close to where it's just, you got so many people, it's easy to just be like, go down to Gary,
Yeah. And I never had any issues in Gary. It's still got the steel plant. And actually my sister's husband, he works out that way.
Okay.
So there's still a steel industry there. It's just not like it was back in the day where it's like, oh, hey, we've got our community, like the old coal mining towns. Like that's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
My grandpa worked there. He was he did like HVAC stuff for the steel mill. So he'd go in and handle all that shit. And Gary used to be a really bustling town, and then it took its shit. And would I go driving through Gary at 2 a.m.? Probably not.
No.
But also, there are more dangerous cities than Gary, Indiana. Like
Sure.
Gary, Indiana.
It just gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
It'd be of that, at least in that area. That's like the cliche sketch.
It's
city.
also one of those things where if you look like you're up to no good, no good's gonna find you
for sure.
There's
Well, they got I guess it further down towards the. Is there dunes out there too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the dunes is actually really cool.
Yeah. I was just in Great Sand Dunes in Colorado a couple weeks ago, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
I was just like, you see it from a distance, and you're like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Should I go?
Yeah.
And then you go walk up like this giant 700-foot mountain of sand, and you're like, oh my gosh, my calves hurt so much. This is so,
So Mount Baldy and the sand dunes there, fun little history fact, that's where the Wright brothers learned how to fly.
Really?
Yeah, so that's where so when the Wright brothers did their whole thing at Kitty Hawk,
Yeah.
they had learned there was this guy named Octave Chanute that was like doing like early studies of flight and man-made flight and all that shit. It was at the sand dunes where the Wright brothers met him, and he taught them everything they knew, and so they took that back to Kitty Hawk, and there's like a whole monument. And
Oh wow! Isn't that crazy? There's always like this started here, and then there's always something that's like, well, actually,
yeah. And then
it's how there's a town south of Espanola.
yeah.
You come into the state of New Mexico, and somebody, you ask about Espanola, and they'll be telling you like, yeah, it's the birthplace of lowrider, of lowriders. And then you tell somebody that's really into lowriders, or the wrong person that's into lowriders, like, well, no, it started in Chico. And then you have somebody else that's like, well, the first guy to put hydraulics on his car, that was in Japan. And
Right. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if you're down that way, definitely go check it out. But if you're going to go down there, the town that I grew up in, I grew up in this area, or I grew up in Linwood, Illinois, but I also lived in Lansing for a long time as well. So it's kind of
Michigan?
No, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of like right now we're in Waco, but right next door you got China Spring,
Yeah.
So it is kind of that scenario. There's this airport there called Lansing Airport, and they have the Ford hangar, which is where Henry Ford used to fly his tri airplane.
Oh.
So basically he would fly into Chicago as part of the for his vehicles, for the Ford, like obviously the steel mills right there.
Yeah.
And so he was coming back and forth from Detroit.
Just doing business in Chicago and Detroit. Yeah.
And so he built a hangar out here.
Whoa.
Or out there. Not out here. Out there. And
are you you're back in Chicago right
it's
now?
Like yeah. And so it's just a really cool spot, and they're trying to do something with it. It's like at this point it's a historical monument, so they can't there's only certain things they can do with it. Mm-hmm. But it's actually like if you just drive past it and look at it, it's actually like really cool to kind of be like, oh shit, that was made back in the 20s or the teens or that's whenever awesome. It was. So yeah,
I'll have to check it out. I'm looking forward to it. Like I was saying with the core, it's just like it's a lot. It's really rewarding, but it's also just New Mexico is not the best place to raise a child. Goodness gracious.
No. So what do you do at the core? Or what is?
So we do both trail maintenance and reconstruction, like corridor work, taking out brush, recutting trail, and then originally we were supposed to it was urban forestry and do tree thinning and like burn scars and just like congested stands, and then Mr. Musk came through and cut everything, and so we pivoted to this thing we have a program called Wood for Good. Mm-hmm. I guess 3 or 4 years ago in the Taos Ski Valley, there was a big blowdown event, and so all of those trunks, they call them bowls. It's just weird to say bowls all of a sudden out of no context, but all those tree trunks were donated to the Youth Corps, and we every other 8-day spike throughout the season we're bucking all of I mean it's probably each of the trunks is 30, 40, 50 feet long, and then there's there's easily maybe 2,000 tree trunks, and we're just cutting them all up into firewood length with chainsaws, and then coordinating like people in the area that are low income and are elderly and can't like go get it themselves, don't have the means or physical ability to, because not everybody, not people in the ski valley or live in the ski valley, but most people, your average Joe, and they they cook on their wood stoves, they heat their homes during the winter, and so like wood is
gold,
super important up there.
Now, will you guys go back in and like replant stuff too, or is that not really?
No, I mean, I think that they do have, not my crew. There's a bunch of different things that Rocky Mountain Youth Corps, there's actually 2 of them. There's one in Colorado and there's one in New Mexico. They're not affiliated with each other. They just both are in the Rocky Mountains. We have an office in Taos and an office in Albuquerque, and they've been around for 30 years, and they've done like at land trusts and stuff, like community gardens. They at one point had one of those little transit buses, and they would pick up elderly people's dogs and take them to the park and then drop them off, and then like in-school programs, and it's been a bunch of different things over the last 30 years. But currently now we mirror at least the chainsaw aspect. We try to mirror the Forest Service, and we have one person that used to work for the Forest Service, has like it's called a letter of designation, and so like he has the ability to certify other people, and so we just follow all the safety standards of the Forest Service.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
So I am technically a Class A Sawyer and Bucker,
nice.
Or Feller and Bucker. And but we haven't really been able to cut down too many trees. Just been bucking up a bunch of firewood.
Because I know that sort of stuff is really big up in Canada as well.
Really?
I've met a few people that live out in like are musicians through
like
the podcast.
Pacific Northwest area.
Yeah, Pacific Northwest, and even like
Montana.
east in northeast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where they'll go. Like their job is literally, because all the lumber companies will come in and cut down trees. They have like for wood and whatnot, and then they come in right behind them, and they just pull out whatever stumps are left over, and then they
do.
Then they replant the trees, and they're like, yeah, they pay us like $1.50 for every tree we plant or something like that.
Wow,
I'm like,
nice.
that sounds low, but it also sounds like if you're really good at your job, you can do pretty good with it. So
yeah, no, it's a fun job and I like it. It's definitely a new set of skills that I'm learning. I really like chainsaws. They're cool, man. Just like all the ins and outs. Just like it sounds so not I mean nerdy, just boring, but that end of spike chainsaw maintenance, just taking apart everything and cleaning all these little pieces and figuring out like the cliche kind of thing, like your dad, your grandpa, or your dad, or your uncle like brings you in and like an engine, and you gotta. I guess there's a drive-by trucker song, Daddy's Cup, where he's like, I have to tell him what each part is for and what it does and blah blah, that kind of thing, but with a chainsaw. Yeah.
So will you go back out there to next year?
I'm not sure yet. Maybe. Okay. Honestly, so with the whole budget cuts with Doge, that's going to be going through the courts for however long it takes. I think it's like 22 or 23 different states that have lawsuits going on with the federal government right now, and so I'm not entirely sure. But my idea for whether or not I'll go back next year is if they supposedly, this funding was supposed to be secured, and that's what the whole lawsuit's about. Yeah. So if we get back, if the youth corps gets back $100 million something in an urban forestry budget for next year, then I'll definitely go back. Okay. But I'm still kind of exploring what I want to do afterwards. As long as I complete my term of service and like the hours required, they give me a decent chunk of change of an education award. Okay. And that's kind of held in an account through AmeriCorps. And then if I go through, like, I've thought about getting a CDL, maybe trying to do like the arborist, kind of getting an arborist license. That's a whole different can of worms. So you cut the wrong branch and you send something through somebody's living room. Oh yeah. It's one thing to be out in the middle of the forest and like kind of size something up and look at it and be like, all right, I think it's going to land right here. And then you get up there and you sight it up, cut it, and it lands on the stick that you said it was going to land on. That's cool. But when you have somebody's $300,000 house, bullshit, $500,000-$700,000 house now, it's a big liability.
I had to do a commercial, I think it was last year, for a tree guy.
Yeah.
Or a lawn maintenance.
He's like in the commercial trying to cut and messes up somebody's car. And like,
he's doing his thing.
We'll cut it out in post.
Right. And so his whole thing was he was an arborist. Like he was a licensed arborist and all that stuff. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what that means. He's like, it's a very, very big deal. Like I paid a lot of money or whatever it was to be an arborist. And I'm like, and you're cutting trees for Patty over here.
Yeah. Right. Well, there's a lot of money in it though. That's crazy. Is because of that liability. Yeah. You have to have a climber. You have to have somebody on the ground. You have to have somebody that knows how to work a chainsaw. And like, then you got to do transport. So are you going to do that yourself, or are you going to hire somebody to go to? You're going to outsource it. But yeah, like even practicing and doing trees with learning how to cut down using the chainsaw. Yeah. Like diameter at breast height, like 10, 15, 20. It could take me 30 minutes to cut down limb and buck that big of a tree, and that's easy 200 or 300. That's a gig's worth of money in 30 minutes for me. And so I'm like, man, we'll see. We might just drive around with the guitar in the van and maybe a chainsaw.
Well, it's also one of those, when you said CDL license, it's like, honestly, that just feels like it would be a good pull for a musician.
Oh, yeah. I would love to maybe one day, if it doesn't work out, like I don't get to see the big stage and have people buying tickets to see a show. I wouldn't mind being the bus driver, the tour driver.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can make some decent money at, and
that's kind of where I'm at now with music in regards to. We've been talking about not a lot of music stuff in this podcast, but like that's kind of where I've been at over the last like 6 months to a year, where it's like I was saying in the beginning, like I've done a lot, if not more, of the things that I wanted to do when I first started doing this, and now if I want to get if I want to try to find myself on the next ring of that ladder, I have to have a little patience and I have to have more money. I can't keep on playing $200 or $300 gigs wherever I want and just putting it all into a gas tank. I got to find somewhere to stay for a little while and make some big boy money.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about the industry right now is everybody thinks that putting out music and doing the streaming platform, that's the only way to make money. It's not. You're not going to make money doing that. Your money is exactly like you said, getting out and playing shows, making sure that you're actually getting paid for your shows. And I'm not saying you have to be a diva about it, like, oh, I'm not playing this show if...
But you have your own boundaries, and if it's just like they're, if somebody wants to be disrespectful in response and be like, $200, we'll give you $25, and it's just like, agree to disagree. Yeah, if that's what y'all are paying for, you're gonna get what you paid for.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's one of those things. It's like recognizing your opportunities. Like I think that's an important thing that a lot of musicians kind of neglect. Is it's like, oh, you're getting asked to play. Like let's say for instance, you get asked to play over at Billy Bob's or something. Like that's a pretty big stage, especially here in Texas. Play Billy Bob's, and they're like, but we can't pay you. But you're opening for like Jake Worthington or something. Yeah. It's like, I might eat that pay.
Oh yeah.
So sure. It's just
like what other doors does that open up? Yeah. But then you'll have somebody that's just like a brewery or like a mom and pop or whatever, and it's just like I've always said there's a difference between gigs and shows. Yeah. And I've just been playing a lot of gigs, and there's nothing wrong with those. Yeah. But like I just want to start to try to even take a 2-year break, but that whole 2 year, I'm trying to put together a full body of work and
for sure.
Release the LP and start playing shows.
Oh yeah, is that kind of what you're building towards right now? Is the LP?
Not right now, but that's kind of, I'm more or less just in a phase of just like writing out like what a track list would be like on an album or something. But
and like songs that you would want to write for this, or is it stuff?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if it'll just probably be kind of a debut Kerosene Pipe Dream album. Okay. And whatever it ends up working out to be is what it'll be.
I've always wanted to ask, where did that name come from? The Kerosene Pipe.
So I for a little while had kind of not necessarily forgot, but I didn't. Yeah, I guess I didn't remember. The idea was just kind of like, it's just a pipe dream. I'm still gonna do it, but I'm not. You're sitting at the it's like a cliche kind of. You're sitting at the Thanksgiving dinner table in your family. It's just like, are you still doing that music thing? And you're like, yeah, Grandma. And she goes, oh, well, you should, why don't you just try out for American Idol? No. It's like, no, like I don't want to. I'm logical with that. I'm not trying to do that. I just want to make a living, and maybe it'll work out, and over a lifetime, over 10, 20, 30, 40 years, I'll learn how to play the guitar better, how to write better songs, and it'll just be a pipe dream until it's not. But I actually did kind of settle on the name. It's like the last verse of a song called "I Hope You're Wrong" by Lost Dog Street Band, and
nice.
There's a little breadcrumbs, at least for the origin of Kerosene Pipe Dreams in that last verse of that song. I hope you're wrong.
Yeah, you brought up an interesting point though. I know we were trying to wrap this up.
No, you're fine. I got all the time in the world.
Cool. You brought up like the idol and the voice and all that stuff, and it's like, to your point, you are right. Like it's not really going to help your career all that much. I often would say that they've turned down more superstars than they've turned out.
Oh yeah.
Like if you look at,
I have a buddy of mine, Cash Byers, who he went on The Voice and he wanted to sing one of his original songs, and it was taping and everything, and they were like, "Yeah, that's fine. You can sing one of your songs. Just sign this real quick." Yeah. And it's like a contract that if this airs on television from the date it airs, for the rest of the existence of this song, whether you win The Voice or you just go through auditions and don't make it through, we own 50%. Oh, because we provided you we provided you the
platform
to be able to sing your song, so half of it's ours. And he went, I'm good.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not going to do the voice.
Right. But it's just one of those things where it's,
sorry,
not,
I cut you off.
no, you're fine. It's not going to help you out that much. It'll give you a little bit of a marketing ploy once you post the voice, post the idol, especially if you like make it on TV.
Yeah, if anything, it'll give you a little look into like people dynamics in the music industry on this little platform thing.
Well, and it'll also give you one of those deals where it's like, oh, I was on The Voice, so you play gigs. It's like, oh, Steve from the Voice.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's good.
When it's 10 years later and you're still making Facebook event pages that's like such and such from American Idol 10 years ago. Like, why are you doing this, man? Like, let it go.
Let it go. Actually, I had Cassidy Pope on the podcast earlier.
Okay.
It was last year.
Sorry, Cassidy, my bad.
No. And she went on to win The Voice, and I was like,
really?
Yeah, she
Nice.
won like season 3 of The Voice.
Nice. Okay.
And I was like,
I knew there was something I needed to be sorry for. I'm sorry I didn't know that.
And so it was one of those deals where it's like, I want to bring that up, but she's so far removed from her experience, it's not even who she is anymore.
Yeah.
It's like she went on there, she did.
And if your like business or your like career as a musician revolves around, you can like lose your identity if you're so attached to that kind of thing.
And like she barely even wanted to talk about, and I mean she did because she's a professional, but it was just one of them deals where it was like, I feel so bad about bringing this up because this was like 15 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Like season 3 was like 2011 or 2010, and it's like,
well, I feel like I hear people like very successful musicians that have talked openly about like the fear of having like that one really successful song, and it's just like, do I want to, most of the time I would assume you don't really see that kind of thing coming. Yeah. But like, I guess, I don't know why this is the example I'm thinking in my head, but like John Mayer, he's just like, do I want to be known for the rest of my life as your body is a wonderland guy? Hey, or
I guarantee
the one person, the person that won The Voice in 2013.
If he had a good deal in play, I guarantee you that song is still
making money. He's still getting that mailbox.
Still feeding his family right now.
Sure.
So it's like you take the good with the bad. It's like, oh.
But like, there's a reason why, like Tyler Childers, he doesn't play all those ones that everybody wants to hear purposefully. Yeah. Because he's like, no, like you've heard the album. I'm here to present new music. Yeah.
And that becomes an interesting, because my dad's girlfriend or fiance or whatever their official title is at this point in life, she has a friend that is good friends with the drummer for Bon Jovi.
Whoa, cool.
And so they were, Bon Jovi was in town and they got tickets or whatever, and all they were playing was all their new stuff, like the stuff that's come out over the last couple of years.
They were being musicians.
Yeah. And I in my head I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to see a band like Bon Jovi that's been around the sun and back.
Yeah.
And been around the sun and back again. It's like, I kind of want to hear those.
For sure.
It's just, but I 100% get, like, they're here promoting their new album or their new body of work, so they're not going to sit there playing everything off of Slippery When Wet.
If they are, it'll be those last 3 songs.
Yeah. Where was I at? I was at a show, and they literally played, they were there, or no, it was Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So they were playing out in New Mexico. This was like right after the pandemic.
Was that at the Liberty?
Yeah, it was at the Liberty. Nice. And they were out there doing like the 10-year anniversary of their big whatever their big album was. They were doing a 10-year anniversary thing. And they basically just played the album from front to back. And I was like, I mean, it was a cool show, but you got a really interesting look into how some bands kind of tour and do that thing, because it was like the opening band, the lead singer was the drummer for Red Jumpsuit. So it was just like they're playing
Oh, like a little carousel.
Yeah, they were playing like Pass the Buck of the bands, and I'm like, oh, this is a little weird, but you know, they were on tour pushing this one thing. We didn't hear any new music.
Yeah.
We didn't hear nothing. It was just all their old stuff, and I was like, I kind of want to hear what you're working on now, but you know, I guess it goes from band to band where it's like,
yeah, like what do you do?
Yeah.
And then once you decide, you just like, all right, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, but like back to your point of Tyler Childers, it's like, yeah, if he's like actively playing music and continually making new music, yeah, I want to hear his new stuff.
Yeah, but he's also like, and I think he does a good job of like breadcrumbing his fans as well. I mean, I think he's released, it might not have come out yet, maybe in here in a couple of days, I think, but he's releasing a new album that's produced by Rick Rubin, actually.
Yeah.
And he's got two of the because he had so when he blew up and was on all of these you know live radio shows and you know like KPXT or you know that kind of style, Audio Tree Live. I don't think he was on Audio Tree Live, but that kind of style of things. And he has all these like concert recordings of songs that he's never put on an album, and it's like multiple albums worth of songs, and that everybody like will love. And like I guess one of his currently one of his most popular songs is a song called Jersey Giant. Yeah. He's only played it live one time, like a couple months ago. And it was just like him and his now wife on a back porch recording studio kind of thing. Oh yeah. So he has all the time in the world to like, you know what, you can wait. I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna do this kind of gospel contemporary thing, and then I'll make this other high produced album, and I'll throw like one or two of those songs that you want to hear.
Nice. Like I mean, the live recording stuff, that's so like I love that stuff, and that's kind of what I see the live podcast kind of starting to do.
That'd be neat. Yeah.
The quality's got to get there because we're using this mixing board, and there's so many internal like settings that if you don't have it exactly right, the vocal sound, like as far as like recording music goes, something sounds a little. It's
one thing if it's just you and I shooting the shit and like just vocal, but when you add in that second,
and so I'm in the process of like, okay, we've got to get a better PA system because I got a $200 PA system that I bought off of Amazon, and so it's like it does okay, it does what it needs to do, but it's like, all right, let's bring out the you died, okay, whatever. Let's bring out the, you know, better PA system. Let's bring out a better board that isn't all digital. It's analog and stuff too. So, and hopefully a lot of those issues won't persist. And so once we get that kind of in play.
Nice. That'll be awesome.
You
said you're doing that December 7th, or that's in Roswell?
That's in Roswell. The Bastrop show will be this November 30th.
Cool.
Yeah, so it'll be the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
I might be able to make that. Yeah.
If you want to talk about it, let's get you on that because like right now, it's Mary Charlotte is the only confirmed act we have for that. So
gotcha. Okay.
So
we'll talk about it.
Sweet.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, really thank you for your time sitting down chatting with me, and
thanks for having me, man.
Where can people find you if they want to?
Oh, on the internet. No, like pretty much any streaming platform that floats your boat. The Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. The band's called Kerosene Pipe Dreams, and then I have I actually am not so good with the computers, and I ended up doing releasing a separate song. It's just one song. There's a separate Spotify profile under Nash Daniels, but most of my music's under Kerosene Pipe Dreams.
Cool. Sweet. Well, appreciate you. Thank you so much for jumping on, and we'll catch y'all later.
Awesome.
Sweet.